Welcome to Market Foreplay, an investing podcast where I promise to educate you and give you a slight discomfort at family dinners. I am your host. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I am, however, someone who once Googled what is stock at 2 a.m. and then accidentally spent 40 minutes watching a man explain ETFs on a whiteboard, so basically overqualified. This podcast is 15-ish minutes, and I'm going to explain everything you need to know about investing as a complete beginner. And I'm going to do it with a maturity level of 12-year-old. The last part is not a disclaimer, it is a promise.
Okay, first things first, there's a big difference between saving money and investing money. A lot of people think they're just the same thing. They are not. Calling them the same thing is like saying an app and a comma are the same. Technically, both of them involve lying down, but one of them is doing something to you. Saving is when you put your money somewhere safe, a savings account, under your mattress, in a tin can in your closet. Whatever, the money is there when you need it. Beautiful, responsible, aggressively boring. Now, here's the problem inflation. It is the slow, silent process of your money becoming worth less over time. The average savings account gives you maybe 0.5 interest a year. Inflation is running around 3%. So while you're sleeping soundly, inflation is quietly eating at your money like a friend who borrows your food without asking. Your savings account isn't protecting your money. It's just being polite while inflation has its way with it. Investing, on the other hand, means putting your money into things that can grow. The market historically returns around 7 to 10% per year, on average, over time. That is not a guarantee, but it is a very compelling argument. Investing is like fart in a small room. It starts quiet, you might not even notice it at first, but give it time, and it fills the entire space. That quiet little investment you made at 25, by the time you're 60, it's everywhere. You're welcome. That is the magical process called compound interest. Here's how it works. You invest money, and that earns a return. Then that return earns a return. Then that returns return earns a return. It's basically money having babies, and those babies having babies. At some point, you just own a small country. Alright, let's talk about what you can actually invest in, because the market is not one thing. It's more like a buffet, and just like a buffet, there are great options, fine options, and options that look good, that will absolutely ruin your afternoon. Now, let's go to stocks. When you buy a stock, you're buying a tiny slice of a company. Apple, Microsoft, struggling oatmeal brand, doesn't matter. You own a piece of it. If the company does well, your slice is worth more. If it tanks, your slice is worth less. It's like co-owning a restaurant with thousands of strangers. You don't get to choose the menu, you don't get the table, but if the restaurant becomes wildly successful, you can sell your tiny invisible stake for a profit. Sexy? No. Effective? Yes. Stocks have historically given the best long-term returns, but they're also volatile. They go up, they go down, sometimes dramatically. Short term, they're basically a mood ring. Long term, they're trend upward. Now, let's go to bonds. A bond is basically a loan. You lend money to a company or government. They pay it back with interest over a set time. Bonds are safer than stocks but grow more slowly. Now, here's the difference between stocks and bonds. Stocks are like a fling, exciting, unpredictable, a little sexy. Bonds are like mortgage, steady, reliable, and you know exactly what you're getting into. Most investors need both, just like life. Now this is where I doom scrolled into. The ETFs, Exchange Trade Fund. It is a bundle of many stocks in one. You buy one thing, you own a little piece of hundreds of companies. An index fund works the same way but tracks the overall market, like the S&P 500, which is just the 500 biggest companies in the US. Buying an index fund is basically saying I believe in capitalism as a concept and then going for a nap. Historically, that nap has paid off quite well. They're low cost, low effort, and diversified by design. Warren Buffett, the man who turned investing into a personality trait, has publicly said that most regular people should just buy a low cost index fund and stop fiddling with things. When one of the richest humans on earth tells you to be lazy, you listen. Now, real estate is buying property and either selling it out for profit later or renting it out. Historically solid, high barrier to entry because you need actual money up front. If you don't have down payment lying around, you can still invest in real estate through real estate investment trust, which is basically real estate stocks. You get the exposure without having to deal with a leaky roof or a nightmare tenant named Gary. Now, let's talk about the risks, because every investment carries some. The market can drop, companies can fail, Gary can stop paying rent. Risk is not optional, but stupid risk is. There's the difference. How much can you handle? Risk tolerance is essentially, if your portfolio dropped by 30% tomorrow, would you calmly wait for it to recover? Or would you lie down on the floor and question your life choices? Both are valid human responses, but only one of them is good financial strategy. If you're young and investing for 30 plus years, you can afford more risk. You have time to recover from downturns. If you're close to retirement, you want to be more conservative. Now, let me give you an analogy for risk tolerance. Investing is like eating spicy food. Some people can handle ghost peppers and feel great the next day. Others have a bad time with mild salsa. Know your tolerance. Don't order ghost pepper portfolio just because someone at the party said it was impressive. Now, let's go to diversification, the most unsexy word in finance. Diversification means don't put all your money in one thing. Spread it across different assets, industries, and geographies. That way, if one thing collapses, everything else keeps you afloat. Let me give you an analogy. Putting all your money in one stock is like eating only one food for every meal. It might work fine for a while, but the moment that food makes you sick, you have nothing else to fall back on. This is, again, why index funds are so great for beginners. They diversify automatically. You don't have to do anything. Just exist, invest, and wait. The golden rule: don't panic sell. The number one mistake beginners make, the one that costs many people actual life-changing money, is panic selling. The market dips, fear sets in, they sell everything, and then watch the market recover from the sidelines. Selling your investments during a market crash is like breaking up with someone because they had a bad week. You don't wait for them to have the best week of their life and then try to get back together. Well, some people do, but it never works out the same way they think. Volatility is normal. It's the price of admission for long-term gains. The people who got wealthy from index funds didn't do anything clever. They just didn't sell. Okay, you've made it. Let's make this actionable in 3.5 steps. Step 1. Emergency fund first. Before you invest in a single peso, build an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in a savings account. This is not boring. This is what keeps you from being forced to sell investments during an emergency at exactly the wrong time. It's your financial seatbelt. You never want to use it. You absolutely want it to exist. Step 2. Free money before clever money. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough to get a full match. Full stop. No debate. If they match 4% and you put in 4%, that's 100% instant return earned day one. There is no investment on earth that guarantees that. Not contributing to your employer match because you didn't understand it is like leaving a free $20 bill on your desk every month because you're not sure what the vending machine will give you. Just take the 20. Step 3. Start. Be boring. Stay consistent. Pick a low-cost index fund. Set up an automatic contributions. Do not check it every day. Do not let your uncle convince you to put it all in cryptocurrency he heard about in a backyard barbecue. Peso cost averaging is the move. Invest the same amount every month, regardless of what the market does. When the prices are high, you buy a little. When the prices are low, you buy more automatically. No brain power required. Peso cost averaging is like buying a coffee every morning, regardless of whether the line is long or short. Some days you get there fast, some days you wait, but you never live without coffee. Staying consistent, let time do the heavy lifting, and that's it. 15 minutes. You know more about investing than the majority of adults who are actively afraid to Google it. The best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The second best time is literally right now, while this podcast is still in your ears. Money is like gas. It naturally moves toward the path of least resistance. Your job is to make the path lead somewhere useful, not just toward takeout or impulse purchases at 11 p.m. Not that I would know anything about that. I'm your host, Market Foreplay. If you learned something, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell a different friend to listen until you do. May your compound interest be ever in your favor.